Hello everybody, this is Mariusz. I am from Canada, and I'd like to make a video about a condition that I've been suffering for over 4 years now, which is tinnitus. It's the ringing in the ears. I know there is a lot of people out there, millions actually, all around the world, that suffer with this condition, and they are seeking help, they are seeking comfort, that this condition will eventually be resolved. They're seeking medical help, medical expertise, and they're not getting it. So I can tell you from my experience, what I lived for the past 4 years is that you will get better. Your condition will improve, but you do have to work on certain things. And I will tell you what worked for me. So this is my personal opinion. It might work for you or it might not. I truly hope that it will help you. And ultimately, you will be able to get over it, or at least make the best of it. And hopefully it will progress to an ultimate cure or resolution of the issue, of this problem. This incredible, bothersome ringing in the ears, feeling like your brain is on fire, like there's some kind of a electronic hiss or a chirping bird inside of your brain, making these weird noises for no reason whatsoever. So I will basically go back to, I would say, about 5 years ago and explain you exactly what happened to me. So at the time, many years ago, before that even, I was in a very bad shape health-wise. I was obese, I was an incredible sugar addict, I was eating a lot of carbohydrates, I did not know how to control myself when it comes to limiting the sugar intake, the carb intake. And I was about 265 pounds at the time. And as the time was going by, I was going to see my doctor for health checks, and he was telling me constantly, you have to lose weight because your body is going to basically get worse and worse. You will possibly become diabetic, and many other health conditions will come with that. But I wasn't really listening to the doctors, and I was going on with my days, with my life, continuing on consuming sugar, carbs, basically junk food, bad stuff that you couldn't even imagine of people eating. And I was consuming it on a huge amounts. And eventually, at one point, about almost 4.5 years ago, I developed an incredible, very severe ear throat infection. It started with my throat. I basically got this very disgusting pus, white pus that developed in the back of my throat. It was very painful to chew, very painful to swallow. And I thought nothing of it. I said, hey, you know what? It's an infection, it's going to go away. But I never had this sort of infection before. So I went to the emergency, the doctor examined me, and basically I was told that it was a strep throat infection, and I was prescribed antibiotics. Now, I'm not crazy about taking antibiotics, so I didn't take them. And thinking that, you know what, everything is going to be fine, the infection is going to disappear, I'm going to be fine, nothing to worry about. So the infection did eventually disappear, took about 2 weeks. However, few days after, I developed a very painful ear infection. It got to the point where the pain was going basically from the back of my throat all the way to the side of my ear, and also in the ear. It felt like it was on fire. Every time I was chewing or moving my jaw like this, or basically just opening my mouth, the pain was incredible. And so I went back to the doctor and told him about my history. I was prescribed the eardrops, so I took the eardrops this time because I was really in a very, very bad pain. And I know, and the ear pain is incredible. Like if you never had the ear pain in your life, wow, it is something that you do not want to have or experience. Incredible pain. You can sleep, you feel your heartbeat in your ear. It's an incredible pain. So I took the eardrops about a week. The pain slightly disappeared. However, the ear pain was still there. It was still present. But the pus which was accumulated inside of my ear has disappeared. And I said, hey, you know what? Okay, it's gonna go away. It's going to be fine. And eventually the pain did go away. However, the very first symptom that I developed after the pain disappeared, one day when I woke up, was this sound that I was hearing in my ear. It was like a constant electronic hiss, something that I was hearing all the time, day and night. But it was so bad the first couple of days that I couldn't sleep because I couldn't understand what's going on. Why am I hearing this sound? Is it because of the ear infection? Is it because of something that has happened in my life? Did I do something to provoke this sound? I couldn't understand exactly what was going on. But I made a connection that, it was from the ear infection, and I think that was where the sound was coming from. Obviously, I started searching on the web, a lot of information. Of course, ringing in the ears was the keywords I was using, and the topic came that people who were experiencing these symptoms, they had something called tinnitus, which is the ringing in the ears. And I was like, well, how could I get that? I mean, how could I get this sound in my ear if I had an ear infection and the infection cleared up and I wasn't feeling any pain anymore? What's going on? I couldn't understand the situation. But then I was doing more research about it, and many people were saying that, you know what? The tinnitus is basically a symptom of an underlying condition, but it's not necessarily related to ear infection. It could be stress. It could be also your nutrition. It could be many different issues. However, the main one that struck me the most was basically the stress and nutrition. Why? Because I consider myself, or at least I consider myself, somebody who had a lot of inner stress in me. I was keeping this stress for a very long time, and I was eating also badly. Now, stress causes your adrenal glands to produce cortisol, and cortisol basically is causing all kinds of effects in your body, including inflammation. Eating junk food is also a considerant to inflammation, and inflammation causes a lot of different problems in your health. So when I put the two pieces together, I said to myself, you know what? I think that my throat infection and my ear infection were caused by bad nutrition and stress, and I think stress was mainly the biggest culprit, if I could say, of them all. I started basically looking into what can I do in my life to make myself better. Because if this is a symptom of an underlying condition, if I will fix the underlying condition, hopefully my symptoms will slowly go away. So I started looking into what people are saying, what people are doing. And what I realized was, the first thing is, I need to do a big change in my life to get rid of stress. So I started looking at the possibilities of what help do I need to achieve this. Number one basically was no more looking at TV with violence, which stimulates my fight and flight response. Now, if for people who don't know what that is basically fight and flight response is when your body goes into the stress mode and it prepares you for battle. Like, let's say if you were in a safari and you're a lion, sorry, not a lion, you're a zebra, for instance, and you're being preyed on by a lion or a tiger or whatever, your fight and flight response gives you so much boost of adrenaline that you will be able to run as hard as you can, as fast as you can, to get away from danger. So I said, that's interesting. I think that's what I have, because I'm constantly in a stress mode. And so I think my body is fighting all the time against the stress, but it doesn't know how to shut off when basically the stress is lower. However, I said to myself, you know what? I don't think my body is able to shut down because I have continuous stress in my life. I'm continuously worried and thinking about different things and overworking my brain with different emotions. And this is where technique which worked for me miracles called EFT, which is it's called the emotional freedom tapping, came into the play, which helped me to attack the fight and flight mode and hopefully resolve it, so my body can basically reduce the level of cortisol and go into the quiet mode where it's not always in the battle mode, but it's in the relax mode. So I started doing the EFT tapping for quite some time. I noticed an incredible relief in stress. However, my tinnitus was still there. So I was like, what in the world is going on? How come I'm resolving the stress, but I'm not able to basically help myself with the noise? How come it's still there? What's going on? So I was continuing on doing the tapping because I wanted to make sure that I work on that I eliminate the stress completely from my life. It worked miracles for one thing, because I was getting calmer and less stressed. And even when I was stressed that was coming into my life, I was able to manage it much better. So as a couple of years passed by, my noises were still there, somehow a little bit less perceived, but it was still there. I would say about 6 out of 10 versus 10 out of 10 or 11 out of 10 when I started hearing these noises over 4.5 years ago. So I said to myself, okay, well, it can be that it's only stress because I've been doing it for already 2 years, and okay, it went down a little bit, but it didn't quite disappear, and it's still bugging me, and it's still variating. It's going up and down, what's going on? So I continued doing my research, and the second thing that I realized that I need to work on is my nutrition. Now, when I started the experience with my tapping, I did not change much my regime, which means I was still consuming huge amounts of carbs, however, less amounts of sugar. But the carbs I didn't think of reducing. I thought carbs were fine, but sugar was bad. So I was eating still a lot of pasta, drinking beer, alcohol, wine, a lot of fruits, so on and so on. So I said to myself, you know what, I'm gonna try to go into the keto diet, which is extremely low amount of carbs, and see what happens. So I started that process, and what I did basically was I was going into a huge high fat diet. So a lot of meat, a lot of nuts, vegetables, very little fruit, actually none of the fruits. I eliminated completely the fruits at the time, and very little amount of bread, pasta, rice, uh, and oh yeah, alcohol, which basically beer, which contains carbs, wine as well. And I can tell you that within the next couple of months, I started noticing a difference. And the biggest difference was I felt like my brain was less and less on fire. I wasn't hearing this cricket noise, this high pitch sound, this incredible, it's like a waterfall, like a whoosh sound. I started noticing that it was going a little bit down. And when I would, let's say, cheat on some days, which means I would have some carbs or alcohol and so on, I would feel that the symptoms would come back. But if a couple of days after down the line, I would basically go back into the keto diet, I would feel that those symptoms would slowly go away, or lower at least, to the point that I would consider them acceptable to my standards. But of course, my ultimate goal was to eliminate completely tinnitus and the sound in my voice and the sound in my brain, sorry. So I continued the process. Now, of course, the process is very hard because of you can't go. It's very hard to go into the keto diet continuously. So I was doing it and then going into the cheat mode, going to the cheat mode. So when I basically documented the pattern, I realized that, you know what? For me, keto was the very first thing that I did in my life which helped me with tinnitus as much as I wanted to. And I was actually surprised of the results that I was feeling when I was on the keto diet, which means practically no carbs whatsoever. Why? When I did the research, I realized that everything that is considered as carbs, now I'm talking mostly, of course, because vegetables do contain carbs, but they're not refined carbs. Bread, pasta, rice, these things are refined carbs. So I'm talking about these type of carbs. These refined carbs were they were basically making my body produce a lot of inflammation. They were harming my body. So I was constantly into the state of inflammation, and the inflammation also increases the symptoms of tinnitus because the cortisol level goes up as well, and basically carbs feed your tinnitus, and also I felt like my stress level was going up as well when I was consuming carbs at the time. So I said to myself, carbs must be the culprit and they must be eliminated in order for me to cure myself from tinnitus, or at least make it better. So after 2 years of keto, I lost an incredible amount of weight. Now, I was, like I said, about 265 at the beginning. I'm 171 now. My health check that I did a couple of months ago with my doctor were incredible. So I am not pre-diabetic anymore. My cholesterol levels are great. My blood pressure is fine. My cortisol levels, I feel, are at bay, they're at check, because I don't have spikes of tinnitus anymore as I used to. And this has been going on for a few months now, I have to tell you. I feel an incredible relief where even if I would have a little bit of carbs nowadays, I feel that my body has developed into an I would say carb adapting mode. Now, of course, people I'm sure you've all heard about insulin resistance and insulin sensitivity. When you're insulin sensitive, you're fine. Your body knows how to process insulin. It controls your sugar level very, very well. When you're insulin resistant, that's where the whole mayhem in your body happens. And I feel that carbs have caused me to become insulin resistant before. This for me meant that when I was eating carbs and sugar, my body wasn't processing them very well, and it was causing all kinds of mayhem in my body. And I feel that the tinnitus sound came from that. So what I feel helped me was two things: managing the stress and getting my diet under control. And when I mean diet, getting rid of refined carbs and refined sugar. This for me, I have to tell you, is a lifesaver, because I was suffering from a terrible tinnitus to the point where I had no idea if I wanted to live for the rest of my life with such horrific symptoms, because a lot of information on the internet was very negative. It's like, oh, you're gonna live with it for the rest of your life, or people commit suicide from it. They don't understand what's going on. Doctors are not helping them, so patients give up, and they commit the acts that they commit. I have to tell you that I wasn't suicidal to the point of actually committing an act to end my life, but I have to tell you that it was a very difficult road, and I suffered a lot. And sometimes I wondered, if this is going to be for the rest of my life, do I really, really want to live the rest of my life this way? Because it's not getting better. Nothing is helping me. I'm not finding any answers. What's going on? So on this video, I'm going to end it by telling you that you will get better. These things helped me. Or maybe some other things will help you, or my methods and other things will help you as well. I'm gonna make another video very soon. Basically, I will do a session of the emotional freedom tapping to show you exactly how I do it and how it has worked for me. Miracles. And I will tell you exactly what I eat on a weekly basis, and provide you a little bit of more statistics about my tinnitus, so this can help you more in hopefully getting your tinnitus under control and helping you look for the answers that hopefully you were looking for. The only thing I can tell you is please, please, please stay away from the negative forums on the internet, like the tinnitus talk that I went through many, many times, because there's a lot of negativity out there. People are saying some things that to me they were not helping. And of course, if you read negative things, say if somebody's going to tell you, oh, you know what, this is the end, you're going to have this for the rest of your life, it's not going to help you, because it's causing you more stress in your life. And you do not want stress when you have tinnitus. You want to get rid of stress. You want to get rid of inflammation. You want to let your body heal. You want to have your brain feel that it's safe, that it's not in danger constantly. So my next video, I'm going to talk about more about that, how you can start your new path to help you with tinnitus. On this, I thank you very much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.